Hey, what's up? It's Jared with Ditch Auto, and I wanted to teach you today how to back up photos from your camera to your iPhone. Now, iPhones have a lot of storage typically, and there are options like, for example, with the iPhone 10, which comes at a 256 gigabyte option, which makes for a lot of space for backing up images. Alternatively, if you have an iPads you can get up to 512 gigs, so tons of internal storage that make it great as a backup solution. Now, why would you want to back up your photos to one of these devices? Well, even though these cameras are super solid and the SD cards these days are really good, we don't typically have too many issues with our stuff. There is the potential of you losing something. And now your phone is something that you typically keep on you all the time. And I did a video about doing this on Android because for us with Android phones as well, it's a slightly different process, but nonetheless still is super easy. But iPhone here, Apple makes it pretty easy with their camera connection adapter. This is a simple purchase you can make from your Apple store or online. Amazon has them. I'll make sure there are some links in the description below so you could pick one of these up. And essentially what this is a Lightning adapter and then a SD card slot. So it gives your phone that capability. And in the past, this actually didn't work with iPhones. It only worked with the iPad, which was really annoying to me because if I want something that's super mobile, I want to carry my phone around with me and back up to my phone. So Apple has allowed that, and they probably did a while ago, but because I didn't think it was possible, I just haven't really tried it again. But I was pleasantly surprised when I plugged this into my iPhone that I can copy over images and back everything up from my camera, and also edit photos and do all that stuff, which I was doing. I was just having to do that with JPEG images. So another thing that the iPhone allows and the iPad is for editing of raw images. And what's great about that is that you can edit your raw images in Lightroom Mobile and produce some fantastic looking images without ever even having to plug into a camera. So we're going to look at how to do that. So we're going to take the SD card out of my camera here. Now keep in mind this process here, you have to be shooting raw only images. If you're using raw plus JPEG, which is a typical practice of mine because I like to have that JPEG image, and I'm starting to believe it's something that I might need to get over. I shoot raw plus JPEG, but if you shoot raw plus JPEG and then you plug your SD card into your phone, it's only going to want to copy the JPEGs and not the raw images. So I recommend, if you're going to use this process, if you have a camera that has dual SD card slots like this one, and you want to shoot raw plus JPEG, you shoot your raw images to one card and your JPEG images to another card. This way, the SD card that you're going to plug into your phone has just raw images on it only. That's what you're going to have to do. So this card here has a couple of raw images. I'm going to put the SD card into the little adapter. I'm going to unlock my phone here, and my phone is just on the home screen, and I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. It's going to power up that SD card, and then it's going to go to the import screen where I will see images. So they're going to take a second because these images were taken with the Sony a7R III. Those are like 42.5 megapixel images, so we're talking like 40 plus megabyte images. So I have a few of those, and these are actually images of the A7 III that just came out. So all I have to do is select my images, so I can go ahead and select all of them. I'm just going to select like 2 of them right now just to get these imported quickly for you here. We'll tap on import. I'm going to tap import selected, and it's going to go ahead and import these 2 images. Now it's really hard to tell whether or not they are raw images unless you open them up in software that allows you to edit raw images. It's going to ask me if I want to keep or delete the images. I'm always going to tap keep because later on I'm still going to go and import my images into Adobe Lightroom like I normally would. So I'll go ahead and unplug this now, and you can see it takes me to the last import screen. And on the last import screen, it's going to show me the images that were just imported. And so I can tap on these and take a look, and of course, you know, there are the typical, you know, options here like sharing the image, or I can go in and edit the image right within Apple's Photos app here. But I'm going to go ahead and go into Lightroom CC, and I'm going to, let's see, I need to update my camera roll here. So I'm just going to close out my camera roll and then tap on this little icon to import images. And I don't know if you could see this here, but it shows that those are raw images. So if I come in and select one of my images to edit, I can edit this just like it's a raw image in Lightroom CC. So I get all these great options here. I can choose from profile, edit profiles that I already have. It's going to go ahead and load for a second and show me those different editing profiles, and I can have those saved to my favorites. I can go in and adjust my exposure and my contrast, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to maybe take the highlights down just a little bit. In this option, we'll go ahead and go into color. I'm going to bring the saturation down a bit and the vibrance up just a little bit. We'll go over to effects. I'm going to boost the clarity here. And I think that's probably it under that section. So as you can see, I mean, there's just lots of stuff that I can go ahead and edit. I can enable, lens profile corrections was already enabled on import, so that's awesome. You can also choose from some presets here that are already saved, and pretty cool. So if I tap and hold on the screen, I can see my before and after. I know it's a little hard to see here, but before, kind of a flatter image, and after, a nice dynamic image. Okay, so now if I wanted to save this image, I tap here and I can save it. Another cool feature, and this is for if you're going to be editing a lot of images, is now we made the changes to that image. I'm going to go and copy settings, and it's going to show me a whole list of settings to copy. I'll hit OK. We'll go back to that other image that I imported, so or I guess I didn't import it yet, but we'll go ahead and import that other image, and then I can hit the check mark because I did import it, but I wanted to get the three little icons there. I'll tap on that and paste settings, and now it went ahead and pasted the settings from the last image to this image. So it makes editing photos in Lightroom amazing, and now my images are backed up to my phone, and I've been able to edit them. So pretty darn cool. Now, I also use Google Photos on my phone here, and so when I upload images or when I import images into my phone, it's actually going to back those up to Google Photos and the Google Photos app as well. If you have the iCloud option turned on to back up your images from your phone to your iCloud account, it's going to back those up as well. And so that might be something that you might want to turn off if you're going to load, say, a ton of images. Say you took like couple hundred images and you're backing those up onto your phone to have a nice safe backup. You might want to turn off those cloud settings temporarily to prevent all of that from backing up. You especially want to turn off the option of it backing up over cellular, because if you think about it, like a couple hundred images might end up being like, 15 or 20 gigabytes. And if that's going to take a while to copy over to your phone, and if 15 to 20 gigabytes backs up over your LTE plan or your phone's plan, you're going to run out of data and incur some charges. So you want to make sure that you disable that if you have that option turned on. For me, I have that option turned on only when connected to a Wi-Fi connection. So what's nice about that is that it's not going to affect my my actual data plan. It's when I get home or when I get back to the office and my phone connects to Wi-Fi like it is now, it'll start backing those images up to a cloud service. So that's cool, because then you have two options for your backup. You're not only backing up your card from your camera to your phone, so you don't have to carry around your camera or the SD card with you until you get to a safe place to back up. You just have your photos on your phone, and then if you actually have a connection to Wi-Fi or a way to back up your images to the cloud, you back them up and they're backed up to the cloud as well. So worst case scenario, if you lose your camera and your SD card, you've got a backup on your phone, and you can go ahead and download those images to your computer and edit them. So that's a tutorial on how to back up to your phone and then also do some editing in Lightroom. That was a kind of a little bonus tip that I threw in here, but definitely an awesome option. So if you're not an iPhone user, you're an Android user, I'll link to the Android video down below on how you can backup directly to your Android. What's cool about doing that with an Android is you can actually plug the camera directly into the phone, so you just have to have a cable instead. Of course, there's apps for Sony, and I think I mentioned this in the other video. There are apps to wirelessly copy, but the problem is that wirelessly copying from your camera to the phone does not give you the RAW file. It gives you a JPEG file. And so this is the only way to copy over RAW files, is to do a direct connection either with your SD card into an iPhone or a cable going from your camera to your Android phone. So definitely check out some links I put in the description below, including some of the SD cards that I use, this little adapter here that you will need if you want to back up your images to your phone or your iPad. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them down in the comment section below. Click like if this video helped you out, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos as we put them out. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you back here soon on Ditch Auto.